Picture this. The year is 1215, and the medieval world is on the brink of a revolution. In the heart of England, King John and his rebellious barons are locked in a power struggle that would shape the foundations of democracy as we know it today. This was a time of societal and political tension, a time when the divine right of kings was being questioned and the demand for a system of checks and balances was mounting. The barons, weary of King John's misuse of royal power and his unjust rule, were on the brink of rebellion. Their discontent was brewing, echoing through the halls of power and shaking the very core of a kingdom that was already on the edge. And so, under the shadow of rebellion, the stage was set for the creation of the Magna Carta. The road to the Magna Carta was no smooth journey, but a series of events that pushed England towards a new era. Our story begins in the early 12th century with the reign of King John. His rule was marked by a series of failed negotiations with the church and the nobility. These failures led to an increase in discontent among the barons, the powerful men who were supposed to be King John's allies. As the years went on, the tension between King John and the barons reached a boiling point. The barons rebelled, refusing to pay their taxes and even going so far as to capture London in May of 1215. These actions forced King John to reconsider his approach. The rebellion culminated in a meeting at Runnymede, a meadow by the River Thames. It was here that King John was forced to face the reality of his situation. He was cornered, both literally and figuratively. The barons presented him with a document that outlined their demands. This document, which would come to be known as the Magna Carta, was a radical suggestion. It proposed that the king was not above the law, a notion that was unheard of at the time. Finally, on the banks of the Thames, King John found himself cornered into making a decision that would change history. June 15, 1215, a historic day as the Magna Carta was unrolled for the world to see. This parchment, written in Latin, was more than just a document. It was a symbol, a beacon of hope, a promise of justice and fairness. At its core, the Magna Carta was a series of written promises between King John and his subjects. The king pledged to govern England and deal with its people according to the customs of feudal law. This was no small matter. It signified a shift in power, a check on the monarchy, a declaration that the king too was not above the law. Let's delve into the main provisions. First, the Magna Carta protected church rights. It affirmed that the English church shall be free and shall have its rights undiminished and its liberties unimpaired. This was a significant step, ensuring the separation of church and state. Next, it provided protection for the barons from illegal imprisonment. It declared no freeman shall be seized or imprisoned or stripped of his rights or possession, except by the lawful judgment of his equals or by the law of the land. This was a monumental stride towards what we now know as habeas corpus. The Magna Carta also promised access to swift justice. It proclaimed that justice would not be sold, denied, delayed, or postponed to anyone, a principle that resonates in our legal systems today. Finally, it placed limitations on feudal payments to the crown, mitigating the financial burden on the subjects. In essence, these provisions marked the first steps towards constitutional law. So, what does the Magna Carta mean to us today? That's a question that brings us right to the heart of why this ancient document holds such a significant place in our world. You see, the Magna Carta, while penned in the 13th century, laid the foundation for principles we hold dear today: democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. This isn't just a relic of the past. It's a living testament to the evolving understanding of human dignity and freedom. It's the Magna Carta that first challenged the idea of absolute power, paving the way for the concept of constitutional law. It's here that we find the seeds of the idea that no one, not even a king, is above the law. Today, its echoes can be heard in the corridors of justice, in the chambers of parliaments, and in the classrooms of law schools worldwide. And so the Magna Carta, a document born out of medieval conflict, continues to echo through the ages, reminding us of the enduring power of the written word.